All right, hello, welcome everybody to the Florida Physique Report, episode number 36. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2015, and on today's show, we are going to have a report of the Mid Florida Classic, or the Mid Florida Championships, I should say, which took place last weekend on June 20th in Orlando, Florida. This is Deke Warner's show. It was his 20th anniversary, so congratulations to Deke Warner. That's a huge accomplishment. 20 years promoting the Mid Florida. After we go over the Mid Florida, we're going to talk about, of course, our top 5 events that happened at the Mid Florida. The contest report for the Mid Florida is now available on floridaphysique.com under our contest report section, so be sure to check that out for the full results from the contest, along with all the pictures of the winners, and we have winners with all the interviews on our contest interviews section, so be sure to check that out. After we go over the Mid Florida, we're going to be joined by Dan Eslinger, who is going to talk about the Bill Wilmore Classic, which took place last weekend also out in Hollywood, Florida. It was a very big show. So Dan is going to tell us the top 5 things that happened at the Bill Wilmore Classic. After that, we're going to have our guest of the week, which is Aaron Reed. Aaron works out here at the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa, and he actually competed last weekend at the Mid Florida. He won the heavyweight class. But more importantly, Eric has a book out called The Supernatural Lifestyle. And I believe that's his website also, supernaturallifestyle.com. It's mostly a nutrition book, and it talks about how to change your body, how to change your life by improving your nutrition, so it can be applied to anybody, from serious bodybuilders to just the average person. And today in our discussion with Aaron, we're going to talk about the pre- and post-workout foods that work best for both your pre and your post-workout. So we're going to talk a little nutrition today on the Florida Physique Report with our guest, Aaron Reed. But first of all, let's talk about what's coming up this weekend. Again, another big weekend in Florida bodybuilding. We have the Anna Level West Palm Beach Classic, which takes place, of course, in West Palm Beach. This is a very big contest. Like as I mentioned last week on the show, this was a big show last year. A lot of good men's physique competitors. August Lysick, I think, was in this show, and several other guys, and also some really good bikini competitors. So I'm sure it's going to be another really great show. Also this weekend out in Bradenton, Florida, is the Sunset Classic, and I will be covering that show. That's promoted by Ronnie Milo, and I'll be at that contest. I believe Santiago Aragon is going to be guest posing again. Santiago's making the rounds this year. I think this is his 3rd guest posing this year in Florida. All right, so let's talk about the Mid Florida Classic. It was a very big show. I believe he had about 186 competitors, including the crossovers, and it was really good quality. I don't believe it was a national qualifier, but there was some really, really good competition throughout all the divisions. We're going to talk today about the top 5 events that happened at the Mid Florida Classic. Number 5. We had a husband and wife team both winning their divisions. David Anderson and Melissa Anderson. David Anderson won the Men's Physique Masters division, and Melissa Anderson won the Bikini Masters division. And that was Melissa's first overall win, first win in her class even. So congratulations to them. I interviewed both of them after the contest, and Melissa said they are fit fam, hashtag fit fam. And they both keep it in the family, and they both train hard and diet together. And Melissa's not sure what she's doing next, but David is going on to do the Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh, and I believe it takes place in July. So congratulations to them. You don't often see a husband and wife team competing together and then actually winning together. So that was our number 5 thing that happened at the Mid Florida Classic. All right, number 4. A great Masters men's bodybuilding division. I was really blown away. I even told Deke Warner, this is the best Masters men's bodybuilding division I think I've seen all year. For every class, there was really good winners and really good competition. I'm going to mention them all because they all deserve to be mentioned. Robert Drapkin, incredible bodybuilder, over 70. This guy was really, really in fantastic condition. No loose skin, good muscle tone. I've seen Robert compete before. I believe he competed last year, and he looks incredible for over 70, amazing. And then Michael Brandt, who was the winner in the over 60 division, another really good bodybuilder, tall guy, really good upper body, big chest, did the side chest pose correctly. Congratulations on that, Michael. And another guy, just tight skin for over 60, really good winner. The over 50 winner was Paul Southern, who made a great improvement from last year. He told me he was 14 pounds heavier than last year when he competed and more ripped. He is working with AJ Sims, the conditioning specialist, who is making quite a name for himself with a lot of the competitors he's working with. We're going to talk about him in a second. And Paul won the over 50 division and won the overall in the Masters. So congratulations to Paul. Jamie Iboni, who is also a contest prep coach himself, got back up on stage. I think he hasn't competed in a couple of years. He was, as usual, in great condition, very ripped. Jamie has a real wide physique, and he's always in condition, as he should be, setting this example for his clients. So congratulations to Jamie. And then Matt Ammon, who, of course, is a really prominent competitor here in the Florida bodybuilding scene, competed a lot last year, and he's ramping it up again this year. Matt won the over 35 division, and then, as I mentioned, Paul Southern was the overall winner. But just congratulations to all these guys. What a great lineup of Masters men's bodybuilding. Sometimes you get very low turnout in some of these divisions, but to have really good quality winners in every division from the over 35 to the over 70, it was really, really good. All right, now we go to number 3, the bikini winner. Wow, this girl has got potential. No doubt about it, she will be a pro soon, probably this year. Her name is Marcia Goncalves. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. She's from Brazil. Actually, she couldn't even speak English when we did the interview with her. We had to have Jose Suarez, who won the overall winner in the men's bodybuilding. He had to help us interpret because she couldn't speak any English at all. But Marcia has a great competitive background. She told me she's done 8 Arnold Classic amateur events, all the way from Brazil to Columbus, Spain. She's won a couple of them. She won the Amateur Olympia in the bikini division. So I don't know why she's not a pro already. She told us that she has to win 6 overall titles and then she can get her pro card. So I have no doubt she'll do it. She's already won, I think, 3. This was her 3rd overall. So I'm sure she will do it soon, probably this year. She's got another competition in like another week or so, but very, very beautiful lady, incredible physique. Definitely looks like a pro. I mean, there were some good bikini competitors at the Mid Florida, but Marcia was in a class all her own. So look for that name, Marcia Goncalves, if I'm pronouncing that right, and she will be a pro soon. Number 2, Marcus Lewis, new teenage phenomenon. Marcus isn't really a big guy yet, but he's competed now, I believe, in 3 or 4 shows. He did the Orlando Metro last year, and he won that. And he did the Europa this year in the teen division. Had pretty good competition. I think he had about 6 or 8 competitors in that, and he won that. And he was much improved from last year. And then he went into this one, the Mid Florida. So he won the teenage. He only had to face one other guy, so he won pretty easily. But he showed pretty good improvement from the Europa. He was much more ripped and very symmetrical physique. If he could just slowly add some size, I think he's really going to be something special in the future. And I have to mention, he's a great poser. He's put his time in. He's studied these classical bodybuilding routines. So good for you, Marcus. I'm glad someone out there is working on their posing and refining their posing and making a better posing routine. So Marcus Lewis. But the thing that made this contest special for Marcus was that he went into the men's open for the first time and he took 2nd place. He beat out Danny Garcia, who won the novice bodybuilding, and Danny, I believe, is about 30 or 40 years old, a mature bodybuilder with a really great physique, and Marcus beat him. Marcus took 2nd place to Matt Ammon in the men's open bodybuilding in the middleweight class. So that's something to be proud of, and the best is ahead for Marcus Lewis, so remember that name. And the number 1 thing that happened at the Mid Florida this year was Jose Suarez. I call him the Giant Killer. Of course, the original Giant Killer was Danny Padilla from the 1970s. Danny Padilla will always be the Giant Killer in my mind. But Jose Suarez is the new Giant Killer from Florida. Competing as a lightweight, Jose won his 2nd overall title. He did the same thing at the Naples Bonita Classic only a few weeks ago. And now he did it again at the Mid Florida, which was even tougher competition than the Naples Bonita. And what was even more impressive, Jose has added 10 pounds of muscle in about a 4-week period from from the Naples Bonita to the Mid Florida. That was incredible. So he also is working with AJ Sims, the conditioning specialist, and they knew his body and they fed him right, and he was able to add 10 pounds of muscle and fill out and come in even harder condition for this contest. And he beat out Aaron Reed, our friend from here from Powerhouse, who is 6'7", 270 pounds. He beat out Paul Southern, who won the Masters overall, and he beat out Matt Ammon, who's a great competitor. So congratulations to Jose Suarez. He beat a really tough field of competitors, won his second overall. He's going to take a short break. We might see him at the Nationals this year. I told him he'd do great in the lightweight class, especially if he competed at the top of his division at 154 pounds with that kind of conditioning. So hopefully we'll see him. If not, we'll probably see Jose next year. He knows what he's doing with his body. Him and AJ are a great team. So I'm sure they'll be back, and he'll get some more overall victories. All right, that's our top 5 things that happened at the Mid Florida this year. We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Dan Eslinger, who's going to tell us the top 5 events that happened at the Bill Wilmore Classic last weekend. And then right after that, we're going to be joined by Aaron Reed, and Aaron's going to talk about post-workout and pre-workout nutrition that you need to have a great workout. All right, we'll be right back with the Florida Physique Report right after this. All right, welcome back to the Florida Physique Report, and I am joined again by Dan Eslinger from D4 Muscle, and Dan was at the Bill Wilmore Classic over the weekend out in Hollywood, Florida on June 20th. How you doing, Dan?
Doing pretty good, buddy. Thank you.
So that was a big show, huh? You said about
140 something, I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
His rent ought to be getting paid this month anyways.
Yeah, right. That's unbelievable, because I was at the Mid Florida, and I think with crossovers they had about 187, and then they had 140 over in Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it was well represented. Then again, with all due respect to Mid Florida, there's a lot of people that are trying to hurry up and trying to get nationally qualified before Team U.
Yeah, that's coming up quick. Only a couple more weeks for that.
Yeah, so you got a couple that are either doing that show as a dress rehearsal for Team Universe, or those ones that need to get last minute qualified.
Right. Okay, well, going with our new format here on the Florida Physique Report, instead of talking about the whole show, because we got we have the pictures, and I think we got some interviews from you also. We're going to try and put those up on the FloridaPhysique.com so people can check out the full results and the pictures of all the winners. We're going to talk about the top 5 things, according to you, Dan, that happened at the Bill Wilmore Classic. And in number 5, you said, being a military veteran yourself, there was a couple of active Air Force duty people who were competing in the show.
Yeah, there's a couple of females, one figure. Both of them came from North Florida, which, like the Pensacola area, like down to Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale area, that's got to be close to somewhere around a 10, 12-hour drive, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
One was actually a pilot. She finished third in the bikini class in Class C, I believe, Michelle Moldovan.
Okay.
And then there was another one that finished third place in open figure B or C. Her name is Melissa Alford.
Okay.
And so, I mean, they well represented. You know, as we spoke of before, it's very hard to be on the active duty side of things and put together a physique that's required to compete because of the strains that are placed upon you.
Yeah, so that means they're dieting and going through all the training and everything while they're in the military.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
it's definitely not an easy task to do.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. That is impressive. All right, we go over to number 4, and no surprise, the biggest division of the evening was the bikini, with 50 open competitors and 33 in the novice, which was split over 2 classes.
When they came out for the novice, me and Heather were sitting in the crowd, and you know, I'm just kind of. I actually came out while the novice was on stage, and just looked at. I was looking around, and there was just bikini everywhere. I mean,
wow.
They just had the whole stage wrapped around. It was just like everywhere you looked, there was somebody in a bikini.
Yeah.
And so. When it came time to do like the Masters and the Open, you know, they instead of having to do their individual turns, you know, half of the class was just walking straight past the curtain because they had already done their turns.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, South Florida with the bikini and the men's physique is just incredible, isn't it? The numbers are just amazing every show.
Well, it's because they're out on the beach year round.
Yeah, I know. That's a perfect environment for it.
Right.
All right, let's go over to number 3, the figure open winner.
Figure open winner. I mean, the overall looked. She was from Colombia.
Okay.
South America was well represented this show. She looked good. Had a very voluptuous look to her, very exotic. Had a nice full physique. It had to have come down neck and neck on the scorecard between her and Diana Raymond because Diana Raymond was just absolutely peeled.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, hats off to the winner. She definitely did her homework, looked good. You can tell she trained hard.
And like you mentioned before we talked, you said there was quite a few open winners that came from the South America.
Yeah. The men's physique came from Venezuela, and the open bodybuilding came from Brazil. Yeah.
So it was close then between the winner, who I believe was Leslie Morris in figure open, and Diane Raymond.
Yeah. And so there was no way that it couldn't have not been close because even though there was 2 contrast differences in their physiques, one was completely the epitome of condition, and the other one was just totally, you know, round in the muscle bellies together. And I mean, you know, sometimes you know, it's just a toss up. Which way do you go? You go for fullness or you go for shredded?
Right. Were they in the same class, Dan?
No, they were in different classes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go over to number 2, and we just mentioned him, the men's physique winner, Frank Soto, who also won the men's physique masters, and he came from, you said Venezuela, right?
Yeah, Venezuela, and he lives down in South Florida now full time, but he actually came here to the States to start competing.
Okay.
So, which it's a hard hanger to hang your hat on, but you know, by all means, if you got the dream and the drive, hey.
Yeah, I think he was in the Florida Grand Prix show.
He may have been.
He beat out Frank Same.
I actually was at another show somewhere else that weekend. I can't forget, but anyways, I wasn't at the Florida Grand Prix, so I don't know. But I know that, you know, he came over here to America to pursue competing.
Wow. Well, he's doing pretty good so far. Did you talk to him at all, Dan? Do you know if he's going to play?
Yeah, I talked to him in the overall whenever I did the interviews, and you know, we talked a little bit, and you know, he's training hard, and you know, his goal this year is to, you know, I guess ultimately once he becomes a citizen or however it goes, that's how, you know, so he can take the avenues of getting his pro card. I don't know if he's going to go back to Venezuela to turn pro or what, but
oh, okay.
You know, I'm pretty sure with his physique and, you some of the physiques that have come out of South America, he shouldn't have a problem turning pro.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, if he could compete on the national level, but he'd probably have to be a citizen.
Yeah, I don't think he has a citizenship yet if he just moved here, but pretty sure if he was to go back home to compete.
Yeah.
As long as foreign relations are good, I'm assuming that he should be able to go back home and get his pro card easily.
The problem with that a lot of times is that there's not a lot of contests for them to turn pro, if they go in their home country.
Yeah, they just pretty much, he goes down there and they have like a Venezuela national contest, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So there was another guy that lives down in South Florida, Heinz Senior, who's a long-time IPD pro.
Yeah, I remember him.
That was that Human Core Elements, or one of those supplement companies, and he turned pro in Venezuela. Lived down in Miami for a long time, went home, turned pro, and came back.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a good strategy.
Yeah.
All right, and the number one thing that happened was our bodybuilder winner, who you said was very impressive, Marco Della Bono, and he was from, where was he from?
Brazil.
Brazil, okay.
Yeah. So very, very, very good shape. He was actually the promoter, Bill Wilmore. He was one of his clients. Told me he had been training for 1 solid year just for this show.
Wow.
Most people give 12 to 16 weeks, and this guy prepped for a whole year.
Wow.
So swept the Masters, swept the Open, won the overall.
What did he look like? What was impressive about him?
Just his roundness. He had those real tiny joints. So he was light heavyweight, but just his roundness, because those tiny joints, your muscles, they just pop. So he went to, he hit his rear double bicep, and just everything just, with those small elbows, those small wrists.
Yeah, like Flex Wheeler.
Just really, he had real tiny knees, so it made his quads just look that much more flared. I wouldn't go all out and say that, I wasn't overly impressed with his conditioning, but the way that his muscles popped, he didn't have any cross striations or feathered quads or anything, but, he had his 3 lines in his quads and his back popped. Probably, if he wants to, take it up a notch, he's probably going to have to drive his glutes a little bit more at the next level, but obviously, if he's told me that he trained for a year for this show and then to complete the feat that he did, because he did win. He was the rightful winner.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word. So, and it's always got to be inspiring if you're to win your coach's show.
Yeah, yeah. I've noticed in the South Florida area that some of the overall bodybuilding winners recently over the last couple of months, they weren't really the biggest guys, but they did have really good shape. Like I believe in the Florida Grand Prix, the lightweight winner actually won the overall, and he had a really good vacuum. He was a small guy, but he had good shape, and he beat some of the bigger guys.
Yeah, I think it just goes back down to genetics, and I guess we could even say ancestry. I don't know, but as we had said before on one previous show, they don't groom them really big down there, but they really shred the hell out of them.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good move from the judges, to go to reward that shape and symmetry again instead of just size and conditioning,
Yeah, I know my old bodybuilding career. I had always taken pride myself on making sure that I had a really, really tiny waist because it made my top look bigger and my lower look bigger.
Right.
And so to where some of these guys, I remember walking around backstage and seeing some of these guys that just had, if they didn't have their stomach sucked in, it looked like they had a beer belly with a 6-pack.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's good to see that they are going for that Zane-esque look.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really in support of that. I hope they keep going in that direction. I hope it works its way up to the national level, too.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm glad you brought that up because the more that they turn pro with these little tiny waists, the more influence a lot of these guys are going to have to drop the board shorts and go back into a bikini.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and what a lot of these guys in the men's physique don't realize is, and there are some, I'm not going to sit here and be a bandwagon hopper and say that none of them train legs, but the ones who have big legs that are in men's physique, let's be real, some of those guys in a pair of posing trunks, they can have some of these guys can have very beautiful physiques.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hope someone will make the transition.
we'll take Aaron Reed, who was a guest poser at your show. I remember he had transitioned to men's physique for a couple shows.
Yeah.
But even for a tall guy, Aaron's got a real nice natural physique.
Yeah, and good legs.
Yeah, so good legs for a tall guy.
Yeah, he just won his class at the Mid Florida over the weekend. He won the heavyweights.
Well, that's good. I figured he always brings a good condition package on stage. He's not one of those guys that gets real sloppy.
Right. So what's next for you, Dan? What are you going to be at? You got any clients coming competing in some shows coming up?
I'm getting ready to go to Team Universe.
Okay.
Then Southern States.
I'll be there too.
Then Masters Nationals. Then after Masters Nationals, USAs.
Okay.
And then on USAs, I have. I probably won't go to USAs, but I got athletes in USAs, and I got athletes in the Vancouver Pro Show in Canada.
Oh, okay. When is that?
July 25th.
Okay.
Yeah, and then heading into August.
Tampa Pro,
and probably Tampa Pro. I'm going to have my work cut out for me with about 5 or 6 pros and about 20-something amateurs.
Wow. Which division are your pros doing? The bikini?
Bikini and figure, men's physique.
Okay.
So got everybody except for a male bodybuilder in the show.
Yeah. Okay.
And then as far as amateur goes, we got physique, bikini, and figure.
Okay. So you'll be at pretty much all the national shows this year.
Oh yeah. I got everybody. National. I've got my national schedule already set.
All right. Okay. All right, Dan. Anything else to add?
No. I just want to thank Bill Wilmore for putting on such an excellent show and being hospitable. We had a D4 booth set up at the show, and they were real generous and studious in having us there. And of course, Mike Sansevero helped me out a lot, which I appreciate. From North American Bodies, and look forward to doing Team U this week, and hopefully grabbing. Melissa Allen's going to be stepping on stage. I know everybody in the state of Florida is rooting for her to finally turn pro.
Yeah. Melissa's got a great physique.
Yeah, and so we'll see. Take it one day at a time.
Okay. All right, Dan. Well, thanks for joining us again on the Florida Physique Report. We always appreciate your input. And let us know when the next show you're going to be at. Are you going to be any local shows coming up, or just the national ones?
No, coming up in August, Tampa, and then we got, and then August, September, we got, the regional shows and national qualifiers and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So, August and September, we'll be stacked up here local. It appears.
Yeah. Busy season. We're not even like halfway through it yet.
I know. Tell me about it.
All right, Dan. Well, thank you again for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Thank you, John.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the Florida Physique Report, and my special guest today is Mr. Aaron Reed, and Aaron is the author of a new book called The Supernatural Lifestyle. And today we're going to talk a little nutrition today. We don't really talk about this on the Florida Physique Reports, but I thought it'd be good because Aaron's book focuses on nutrition. So we're going to talk about pre- and post-workout nutrition, Aaron, because this is a big subject that a lot of people don't understand. Everybody's into the pre-workout drinks. They want to know what to eat or what to drink or whatever, what to take pre-workout, and then same thing with post-workout. I talk to so many guys and they just say, well, I just want to have a protein drink after workout.
Right.
But it's a lot more complicated than that.
Right, because they'll say things like, well, I don't want to get fat,
Right.
Or I just work really hard. I'm not trying to get fat,
right.
Whatever. And, sadly, it's like, these supplement companies have done a good job marketing their stuff.
Yeah.
And people forget, you need to eat food.
Right.
You need to eat food. Okay? Let's not forget that. Like, it's how bodybuilders get big, is from eating food.
Right.
All right? Doesn't come out of thin
not
air.
just pills and powder.
Yeah, you get magic potions and whatever. So, one of the things I always tell people, first of all, if you want to have an intense workout, you got to eat for that. Like a lot of people do fasted cardio and things like that. Okay, so if your coach has you dieting down and you have a target weight that's 20 pounds lighter than where you are, he's going to have you do different things to help you get there. Mm-hmm. Okay? But I still believe you need to have carbohydrates pre and post workout.
Okay.
If you're going to have carbs in your day, that is when you need them, because the carbs pre-workout are, going to convert to sugar, and sugar is what your body uses to create ATP, so contract your muscles while you're working out.
Right.
It's critical. It's the easiest way for the body to do it, so that's important. Post-workout, when you're done working out, so many times people say, "Yeah, I do a protein shake," and that's it. Me personally, I did that for years. As a kid. I think I read like Bill Phillips' third supplement review. When I was like 17. I read the thing cover to cover, and he was saying how awesome EAS was the whole time.
Right.
But I remember after I read that book, it was like my first piece of like knowledge for nutrition. I was like, I got to have more protein in my diet. I just remember, like, after I read that, I got all the way through it. That was the one thing I took away. I'm like, I need protein.
Right.
And then so for like years, all I would do is a protein shake post-workout. And the idea is this, when you're working out, you're tearing your muscles down. So when it's over, you want to give amino acids to rebuild your muscle tissue.
Right.
Okay. Well, what people have failed to realize is that's not the only thing that gets beat up or depleted. You also burn through all your glycogen, you burn through all your sugar. So if you don't put that back, all right, your body stays in a catabolic metabolism, which means deteriorate tissues, okay? So if you put the sugars back right away, you can stop your body from being catabolic, okay?
Right.
And then become anabolic, which is when you grow,
right,
which is what we want.
Right.
So the idea is you gotta have, carbohydrates, post-workout for sure when you're done working out, unless you're on some crazy diet that your coach has you doing for, maybe it's the last week of the show and you're depleting or something like that. But at the end of the day, simple carbs. Okay, let me use some examples. I talk about it in the book plainly. I have templates and everything outlined in there. But an apple, a banana, that's great. One of the things you need to be considerate of, and I talk about this in the book. Okay. Manipulating our blood sugar and spiking insulin is like our most powerful tool for our diets and changing our physiques. Insulin is the most anabolic hormone.
Okay.
It's more anabolic than testosterone. And the wonderful thing about insulin is we can manipulate it with our foods daily.
Okay.
We can't do that with testosterone.
Right.
You can't eat a piece of fruit and have more testosterone.
Right. Right. Right.
So it doesn't happen.
Right.
But you can do that with fruit, and so, or you can do that. You can do that with sugars. And so here's the thing. So okay, post-workout, you've depleted your. Let's say you work chest. You depleted your chest of all the glycogen that was stored in there. Your muscles will store glycogen, it's sugar and water. So you deplete all of that out, you're fatigued, your body wants it back. Okay? Well, if you give it fruit has a blend of sugars in it, and every fruit's a little different. So you're going to get things like fructose and maybe glucose together.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason this is important to know is fructose gets metabolized in your liver without an insulin spike. Okay. Okay, and it does it very efficiently and very quickly. So what'll happen is, you'll eat some fruit, and then that fructose will get there, and it'll replenish a lot of your glycogen. And there's some glycogen in the liver, it gets replenished, but also in the muscle tissues, it starts to get there quickly. And then by the time insulin's released from the spike that's left there with the glucose, your cells are kind of already fed a little bit, so they're not starved like they were and won't accept as much of it. Okay? So if you have a very simple sugar or something that's just straight glucose, all right, that can only be transported by insulin, and there's no liver metabolization going on in there, then you're going to get hit really hard with insulin, and then you're going to be way more anabolic, and you're going to store way more sugar and way more water and be much more fuller, and the whole anabolic process is really taking off. So I recommend...
So glucose is better than fructose?
Yes. In most cases, and I would say 9 times out of 10, if you're trying to grow, 100%, but if you're trying to maintain like leanness or what, maybe you're trying to come down, you might not want to go with something so simple like dextrose or glucose. Glucose, it can be found from dextrose sugar. That's a corn sugar, and it's straight glucose. I always tell everybody to take that, and it's amazing what it'll do for you.
So if we were talking food, what would be a good example of glucose?
Glucose? That's a tough one, man. I think you get a lot of it from grapes. Grapes have a higher amount of glucose than bananas and apples, but there's still a blend in there. You know what I'm saying, with fruits. Don't quote me on this, but I know that like beet sugar, is up there. But if you're going to do beet sugar, you might as well do dextrose sugar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're picking a sugar.
So what would be dextrose sugar? Straight dextrose that you would get from a store?
Yeah. And dextrose comes from corn. Corn's a polysaccharide, which
Right.
just means it's a multifaceted sugar. It can be turned into all kinds of different other sugars.
Right.
That's why the world loves corn, and it's in everything.
Right.
It's cheap.
Right.
So basically they take the corn, they get dextrose, which is just 2 glucose molecules. Mm-hmm. Okay. The first company to figure this out was Celtec, or Muscle Tech.
Yep.
Back in the day was Celtec. You remember that?
Yeah,
right?
I remember that.
I remember when it came out, they were like, yeah, you can take the Celtec. It's this huge jug of stuff, and it's like 28 servings. And I'm like, there's only 28 servings in there. I'm like, how's there only 28 servings in this huge jug, Like, oh, well, you got to do like 2 or 3 scoops of sugar or this stuff, and it's all sugar. It was like all sugar. And
all dextrose.
A little alpha lipoic acid,
Yeah.
which is an insulin mimetic. That'll help your cells absorb more sugar.
And creatine.
And creatine. And
Right.
the creatine was the big kicker. I love creatine, by
Yeah.
the way. But, that was the deal. They were the first people to figure it out. But what they didn't give you, because they're a supplement company, is like a meal plan that goes with that. What do you eat later? What's this doing to your body?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. They just kind of left you hanging, And so it kind of fizzled out, really. I mean, Celtec only took off for so long.
Yeah.
But they were the first people to really be up on it. There's a book called Nutrient Timing that I suggest in my book. I talk about this book, Nutrient Timing, and they talk about how important it is to spike your insulin post-workout. Because anytime you bring a simple sugar in to the body, no matter what's happening, your body stops burning fat and starts storing. So this is awesome if you just killed it in the gym. Like for somebody like me that stays very lean, I need all the muscle I can get. You know, so as soon as I'm done working out, I need to stop. I need to stop being catabolic and start growing. I need to start storing. So I bring in that dextrose sugar, that glucose, and insulin's released, and then I start storing. And so, then after that, I have meals lined out that I call my crucial post-workout meal, where I have some potatoes, some lean meats.
Now, insulin can be also a fat-storing hormone, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it all depends on the time of the day and
that,
the conditions. Like after a workout, your body's in a different condition than normal.
You're exactly right. I'm glad you brought that up. It's all about insulin sensitivity.
Yeah.
You hear that like all the time. Insulin sensitivity. If I just trained my chest, I burned out, I killed a workout, then my body used sugar to get through that workout. And so I became depleted. As soon as my chest became depleted of sugar, now it's insulin sensitive. Now that means it's ready for more sugar. Okay? So that means the best time is post-workout. So that's why you want to bring that simple sugar in.
Okay.
Now in terms of storing fat, if we're sitting around at the house, this is hours after the gym, and then I drink a soda, I don't have any cells in my body that really want sugar real bad. I mean, it ain't happening.
So your insulin level is going to go up, but now it's going to be stored as fat.
And it has to be stored as fat because your body will not maintain a high level of blood sugar because it's bad for your blood. It becomes toxic for the body. So it's got to
get it out of there into a cell.
Exactamundo. So it stuffs it somewhere. It actually attaches a little glycerol molecule to the sugar, which makes it like a storable fat, and it stores as fat, so it doesn't need to store with water anymore. So that's how it becomes fat. And so you have to be careful. So it's very, very important to understand your nutrition to a point where you know what you're eating at all times.
So the bottom line is after a workout, you got to get sugar in there to raise your insulin level, fill those muscles, glycogen stores back up.
Exactly. And here's the thing. You also want your amino acids, so you still want that protein shake because you're going to store everything. As soon as insulin comes out, you're going to start storing everything. Make sure no fat. No fat around your workout. We can do fat later on in the day. I love fat. I eat lots of fats, but don't have it around your workout because that is not exactly what your body needs at that time.
It slows down the digestive process
Exactly. It'll dull our insulin spike, and we're using this simple sugar and this insulin spike to be a catalyst for growth. So, you don't want anything in there that doesn't need to be in there because it just makes it less effective. And then you could potentially store fat or maybe not feed your muscles as well. And
now, what about pre-workout, Aaron? Before a workout, you also want the carbs, but is it simple carbs, or you want complex carbs, or what?
That's a good question. Okay, well, it's like this. You want to be fueled up. The point of carbohydrates pre-workout is to be fueled up. Like in my mind, I'm a performance athlete. Okay, so when I'm getting ready for the gym, I know that I have to eat enough sugar to get me through my workout. Okay, and the idea is to eat enough to get me through my workout and then crash at the end, right about the time I'm done, so I create that insulin-sensitive environment. So you got to find that happy medium. So what I like to do is use like a real complex carbohydrate that has a medium glycemic index, like oatmeal.
Okay.
I'm a huge oatmeal fan. I don't cook it, all right? I don't heat up water. I don't, I put a little water in it sometimes with my protein powder, and I eat it like cereal, whatever,
Right.
But I have to have oatmeal because I have enough size, I'm 275 pounds. So if I was just do like get some fruit, the fruit's not going to carry me long enough through my workout.
Right.
So typically what I'll do is I use the oatmeal that I know is going to carry me, but I also bring some fruit in too, just to give me that extra edge.
Okay.
So typically,
Now, do you have protein with that or just oatmeal?
you can have a little protein with it is fine, but I wouldn't recommend having a lot. Like if typically you're having 50 grams of protein with all your meals,
Yeah.
I would do half. I would do 25.
Okay.
Because you don't want your body to work on something it doesn't necessarily need
For the workout.
Exactly. You just want those simple or those easy carbs for energy, so you can be peak performance.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know.
So more complex carbs before the workout, simple sugars after workout.
Yeah, and you can have a little bit of simple before. Every day is kind of different.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be honest with yourself. If you're gonna go to the gym and you're gonna half-ass it, you don't need a ton of carbs pre-workout.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna go sit on a cardio machine and talk to your friends and get on Facebook, you don't need a lot of carbs. I'm being honest, But if you're coming in here and you're killing it, you're deadlifting, you're squatting, you're huffing and puffing, you need sugars, because that means your body's going to utilize everything it has trying to reach this level of performance. And so when you reach back, if it's not there, you crash.
Right. Okay.
So, and then after that, simple sugars.
Okay.
Simple sugars.
And this is all in your book,
Yeah.
The Supernatural Lifestyle.
Yeah. It's all in the book right here,
And the website is?
supernaturalphysiques.com.
Okay.
I like to answer questions. I'm also on social media all over the place. So reach out to me, get plugged in. This is my book and something I created. So your success is my success. I
Right.
need you to succeed. I want you to succeed because this is something that I created and I'm bringing around. So, but at the same time, it's very simplistic. The principles in here. This is a course in nutrition. When you read this book, you're going to be like, you read it. It's like there's a ton of information in there.
Right.
For you, not a big deal.
Right.
But for the average person,
That doesn't know what they're doing.
yeah, they have to take it slow.
Yeah.
But it is an easy read because I write like I talk. I don't fill it up with nutritional jargon trying to talk over you.
Right.
And try to sound smart.
Right.
I'm just trying to get you the info.
Right.
And so everything I talk about is how it applies to your next meal. So
Okay.
if I'm talking in terms of like I just talked about pre-workout, I'm saying, okay, well, these are some ideal foods pre-workout. I do that in the entire book.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, that's great info on pre and post workout nutrition. And we'll try and have you back on the show for a little more nutrition information.
hell yeah, man! I'll be glad to come back. Good stuff. Thanks, John.
All right, Aaron.
I appreciate it.
All right, for Aaron Reed, this is John Hansen for the Florida Physique Report. We'll see you guys next week. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us for another edition of the Florida Physique Report. Please join us next week for episode number 37, where we will have reports on the Anna Level Classic, which is taking place this weekend in West Palm Beach. And also, I will give you a report of the top 5 things that happen at the Sunset Classic, which takes place this weekend in Bradenton, Florida. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you next week.